Hello guys, welcome to another video. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are flying our first leg of our 3-day Europe trip. It's gonna be amazing, so make sure to stick around until the end. Before we get going, we fueled the plane and did some final preparations. Today the plan is to fly our first leg from Augsburg, Germany to Innsbruck, Austria, where we will have lunch and decide where to fly next. Depending on the weather, we are planning to continue our flight towards Italy or another destination in northern Austria. The weather forecast has stated thunderstorms in the mid to south Alpine area, which means chances are we won't be able to cross the Alps today and therefore continue to fly along the north side of the Alps. But we'll see. The first highlight on our flight to Innsbruck was Wörthsee, a lake in the south of Munich. This was very special to us as we used to come here a lot when we were younger. It was really cool to be able to see the lake from this perspective. From here we then continued our journey towards Munich to do a little tour of the city. On the way there we flew over our friend's house to check that everything was okay, and after around 5 minutes we were already over the center of Munich. In Munich there are quite a lot of things to see from the air, so first we checked out the Olympic Park and the BMW Museum. The best thing about flying such a small plane over a city is that you fly at very low heights and you're able to see every single pedestrian, every single car driving. It kind of feels like you're playing a video game. From here it took us around half an hour to get into the valley where Innsbruck is located, and the weather there was a lot better than where we took off from. From seeing this amazing weather, our hopes were definitely up that we could still make it to Italy on that day, but yeah, we still had to check the weather in detail on the ground. Innsbruck has a very interesting airfield as it's located right in a valley, and the downwind side, the terrain is a lot higher than it is at the threshold, which means we have to lose a lot of altitude in a very short amount of time. Obviously the Cessna with flaps 40 is the perfect plane to fly such an approach. Upon arrival, we grabbed a few things that we would need for lunch. I grabbed my iPad to check the weather and plan the next flight to see where we could go next. After checking the weather radar, we figured that there was no chance that we would cross the Alps today, so we had to think of a different plan.
We go to Gmunden today.
Yeah, Gmunden.
We can still go to Prague, to what you just showed me in Karlovy in Czech Republic.
Yeah.
We can still go to Vienna, we can still go to Salzburg, theoretically.
After discussing our options, we decided to fly to a town called Gmunden, also located in Austria, next to a lake. We found a small airfield there where we can land and park our airplane for the night, and yeah, we were excited to go for a swim in the lake.
Lunch is done. Now let's go back to the airport and let's go to Gmunden.
No, let's go to Gmunden.
Gmunden. Next up, Gmunden.
Gmunden.
Luckily, we had enough fuel on board to be able to depart directly, and then we headed straight towards Salzburg. Also, the timing was perfect. We really had to get out of the valley within the next hour because the thunderstorms were slowly moving northwards. The flight time was 30 minutes and then we were right over the lake and we were heading towards our approach. Gmunden has a fairly short runway with only 550 meters and also a downsloping runway, which makes it a bit more challenging than other airfields. Now we're on final to Gmunden, and as you can see, you have to fly very close to the trees and the houses. As you will see in a second, the threshold of the runway is surrounded by trees and it is also sitting a bit higher than the field below, which also makes it a bit difficult. All in all, the landing is of course still very doable and I would definitely recommend this airfield.
Boys, how'd you guys like it?
Amazing, bro. That was nice. Dude, that landing was sick.
Yeah, that was insane.
The only thing that was a bit worrying about this airfield is that when you Google it, you can find a couple of pictures of planes that have overshot the runway and they were lying in the fields behind the threshold. Good planning is definitely key at this airfield. Now that we've arrived, we needed to find a hotel and we actually got lucky and found a room in one hotel that was really nice and they had amazing food and they even had a pier at the lake, so we were able to spend the evening there. Next day we had a fat breakfast and then headed straight to the airfield. Our next stop was Karlovy in Czech Republic, or also known as Karlsbad.
Fine, we're just gonna place it there and then we're gonna do a turn.
After a short morning workout, it was time to hit the skies again. Flight time today was around 1.5 hours and the weather was pretty good. We passed by large parts of Bavaria and passed cities like Passau and then flew over the Bavarian forest whilst heading into the Czech Republic. The airfield in Karlovy is situated on top of a hill and therefore it was very gusty that day, so we had quite a bumpy landing and directly after landing we refueled the plane for the next day and then we headed towards the city.
Thank you.
After a nice night out, we explored the city the next day and waited for the thunderstorms to pass through so we could head back home.
I am in Karlsbad. I have spa, I have shop, I have jewelry shop.
Shot, bro.
The flight was planned and we headed directly to the airport from lunch. Went through a security check and here we are back in Augsburg. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this small summary of our summer trip and make sure to stay tuned for new videos.